You step off the dirt field in your hometown, wiping dry clay off your worn-out cleats, completely oblivious to the fact that your right arm is about to become a multi-billion-dollar financial vehicle. At 17, you don't think about tax brackets or deferred luxury annuities or non-guaranteed roster bonuses. You just know that when you throw a football 50 yards down the field, the air seems to stop. And every eyes in that broken stadium falls directly on you. Your family doesn't have money. Real money is something that happens to people on television. You share shoes with your brother. You eat whatever is left on the stove at night. And your high school coach quietly buys you breakfast because he knows your kitchen cabinets are empty. Then, the college recruiters start showing up at your house. They drive leased luxury sedans into your rundown neighborhood, sitting on your family's worn leather couch, drinking tap water, and promising your mother a future where she never has to work another double shift at the hospital. They aren't just selling you a college degree, they are underwriting your potential. But what nobody tells a 17-year-old kid in a small town is that the moment people start investing in your future, you stop being a kid and you start being a public asset. You sign with a major university, and instantly, the money engine starts humming in the background. You aren't getting paid a real salary yet, but millions of dollars are moving around your name. Sports boosters, corporate sponsors, merchandise companies, all building an empire on your back while you sleep in a cramped dorm room. You learn that college sports is not a game. It is an unpitying pipeline. Boosters slide envelopes into dark corners, while university lawyers draft image rights agreements that tie up your future earnings before you even touch a professional field. Then comes the dark reality of the shadow market. Local businessmen set up shell companies, offering your family cash under the table for early access, wrapping your parents in predatory loans that guarantee 30% of your future pro earnings before you've even passed your midterms. You throw 40 touchdowns in a single college season. You win the national championship game under blinding stadium lights. And suddenly, men in expensive suits with silk ties arrive to tell you your life as an amateur is officially over. The NFL draft is only 90 days away, and the financial value of your arm is calculated down to the decimal point before you even step on a stage. The combine turns you into raw inventory. You stand in a cold back room in front of 60 scouts, stripped to your shorts, as doctors pull on your shoulder joints and write notes on digital clipboards about your bone density. They measure your hand size down to the 16th of an inch, and if your fingers are 2 millimeters too short, executives drop your projected value by $5 million on their private spreadsheets. Inside closed rooms, elite psychological profilers subject you to hundreds of aggressive questions, intentionally insulting your character, attacking your family's background, testing if you will snap under pressure, measuring your neural stability like an industrial product. Your agent walks into a dim hotel room, opens a black leather folder, and lays out the blueprint for your new existence. He looks you in the eyes and says, from this day forward, your bank account is no longer a personal matter. It is a corporate balance sheet. On draft night, you sit in a green room surrounded by cameras. Every time a team skips your name, millions of potential dollars evaporate in real time. Your phone vibrates, you pick it up, and a voice on the other end says 3 words that change your bloodline forever. We are drafting you. A few days later, you sign a 4-year rookie contract worth $16 million. You sit at a dark wood desk, hold a heavy metallic pen, and sign your name on the dotted line. You look at the final number on the paper, 16 million, and for a split second, you genuinely believe you are set for life. Then, the first paycheck arrives. You open your mobile banking app expecting a fortune, but more than half of it is missing. Federal taxes take 40%, state taxes take another 8%, your agent takes 3%. Your financial advisor takes 1%, union dues take their cut, and suddenly, that massive $16 million deal shrinks into something far more complicated. That is when the phone calls begin. It starts with extended family members you haven't seen in a decade, suddenly calling to ask for $5,000 to pay off a credit card. Then it's childhood friends, asking for $20,000 to launch a business you know will fail in 6 months. You sit at a restaurant, and the waiter, the host, even the person parking your car, looks at you not as a person, but as a walking winning lottery ticket. You want to help everyone, you want to save your entire neighborhood, but your veteran teammate pulls you aside in the locker room and whispers a cold truth. If you don't learn how to say no today, you will be broke by 30. On the field, the reality is even more brutal. You are playing against grown men who have mortgages, families, and million-dollar contracts of their own to protect. When a 300-pound defensive end hits you from your blind side, he isn't just trying to tackle you. He is trying to take away your livelihood to secure his own. You take a brutal hit in week 6. Your shoulder pops out of place. and pain shoots through your chest like liquid fire. You limp into the medical tent, and the team doctors look at you with cold precision. They don't see a suffering human being. They see a $4 million a year investment that needs to get back on the field before the third quarter ends. They shoot your shoulder full of numbing medicine, strap a hard plastic brace over your collarbone, and push you back into the roaring stadium. You stand in the huddle, smelling the damp turf and sweat, unable to feel your right hand, knowing that if you show 1 second of weakness, the front office will draft your replacement next April. Behind locked doors, the locker room itself becomes a silent financial battlefield. Veteran linemen earning minimum contracts look at your rookie deal with quiet resentment, knowing one wrong block from them could end your career. Or protect your millions while their bodies break for peanuts. You learn to buy expensive dinners for your offensive line every Tuesday night, paying $10,000 a month out of pocket, just to buy their loyalty and ensure they keep you alive on Sundays. By year 3, you have survived the injuries, you have mastered the playbook, and your rookie contract is coming to an end. You aren't just a promising prospect anymore. You are an elite NFL quarterback, and that is when the real war begins. Your agent sits across from the team's chief contract negotiator in a high-rise office building overlooking the city. The franchise wants to sign you to a discount extension, using media leaks to question your leadership, hinting to reporters that you care more about money than winning championships. They leak fake stories to the press, turning your own fans against you, making you look greedy on national television while you train 6 hours a day in silence. You hold your ground, you refuse their initial offer, you sit out of mandatory minicamps. You watch your social media mentions fill with thousands of messages from fans calling you a traitor, and you realize that loyalty in professional sports is an illusion sold to the public. Then, the breaking news alert hits every phone in America. You sign a massive, record-breaking extension, 5 years, $480 million, with $200 million fully guaranteed at signing. The numbers on the news screen look unreal, $480 million. You are officially one of the highest-paid human beings on planet Earth. That night, you stand in your multi-million-dollar glass mansion overlooking the ocean. The house is completely quiet. You have more money than your ancestors could have accumulated in 10 lifetimes, but when you look in the bathroom mirror, you barely recognize the person staring back at you. Your ribs are permanently bruised. Your right elbow clicks every time you bend it, and you haven't had a genuine, uncalculated conversation with a friend in over 3 years. You soon realize that $480 million doesn't buy privacy. It buys an armada of people who profit off your name. Financial advisors push you into private equity tax shelters. Brand managers schedule your off days with grueling 10-hour commercial shoots. And shadow security details follow your every step, keeping you isolated inside a golden cage. You are forced to create a legal trust managed by third-party lawyers, completely stripping your own family members of financial control, hiring corporate security to vet every person who attends your private dinners, turning your personal life into a guarded corporate compound. You step onto the field for the first game of your new contract. 70,000 people are screaming your name, but the energy in the stadium feels completely different now. When you were earning $0, they rooted for your potential. When you were earning a rookie salary, they rooted for your hunger. But now that you are earning $480 million, they don't see a hero anymore. They see an employee who owes them perfection. You throw an interception on your very first drive, and 40,000 fans immediately boo you off the field. The same crowd that cheered your college games now demands your benching because your paycheck is too large for you to ever make a mistake.